Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is February the 5th, 2018. Strong hand. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Buy and hold Bitcoin. Be patient. Delayed gratification. Come on, people. Delayed gratification. All right. Dr. Hold says one Bitcoin is a lot easier to get now than it was like a few weeks ago. And remember, that's your goal. Your first goal is one Bitcoin, then two Bitcoin, then 5, then 10, then whatever, 16, 21, 100. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. And hey, if you happen to have some fiat, it's easier to get it now than it was before. And you know what's still true? That was true yesterday and was true last year and true 4 years ago. The 2020 halving is still happening in 2020. Think long term, people. That hasn't changed at all. All right. Check out the link section below for all the links that deal with this video. Cryptography, use the Meister discount code to get cool t-shirts. And of course, Trezor Ledger Nano at cryptohwwallet.com. And I am Bitcoin Meister on Steemit and TechBalt, TechBalt on Twitter, where there has been just a lot of fun Twitter activity lately. It's great. I really some great tweets to just remind people about just having a strong hand and having a delayed gratification and having conviction. And everyone who's familiar with this channel knows that if there's one guy that has Bitcoin conviction, it's Adam Meister, okay? So you're in the right place if you need a shot of a Bitcoin conviction. But here is a tweet by the great Crypto Medici, who has been on my show before. He says, too much short-term fixation and not enough long-term thinking. Make moves today that will be huge tomorrow. So you see, this is a time of opportunity. You make moves today, they're going to be huge tomorrow. Some people are panicking for various reasons. I don't know why. They're short-term thinkers. But man, this is your chance to get more and more Bitcoin. Huge. It's a great move that will be huge in the future. The weak hand panic is a time of opportunity for the strong hands, for the 20%ers. The 80% panic, the 20% think long-term and just become wealthier. And you know what? The situation in terms of fiat and in terms of panic and in terms of FUD, I mean, this could last all winter. So what? So what? It will show who has the strongest hand, okay? And who truly values their wealth in Bitcoin. Because there are people are pointing out to me all sorts of I guess content creators and people who are big in the Bitcoin space and cryptocurrency space, because it's not just Bitcoin that's going down in terms of fiat. It's every cryptocurrency, and all the other cryptocurrencies are going down worse. Again, Bitcoin is the rock, and when things are going down, Bitcoin is the rock. People have always wondered, like, well, what if another cryptocurrency? What if Bitcoin dies? If Bitcoin dies, which it's not, all of the cryptocurrencies are going to die. You can see that right now and how things are playing out. But what I wanted to say was that there are social media, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin people, content creators who seem to have some weak hands these days. I mean, come on. Were they around in 2014? I mean, it was a prolonged period of Bitcoin going down and all these people talking FUD. It went from whatever, 1,200 to 200 over a period, and it looked like all was hopeless. And we've been through this before, so I cannot understand. It's sad that some guys out there are willing to like say, oh, I don't like Bitcoin anymore. It's, that they panic. that they have weak hands and that they're showing their weak hands. It's shameful. It's shameful. These guys have become weak handers. I can't even believe some of these guys. Again, the cream is rising to the crop here in terms of content creators, in terms of people who understand, who really value their wealth in Bitcoin. Those guys were just talking a big game, I guess, when Bitcoin was valued at $19,000, $20,000 or whatever. They were talking a big game, saying, "No, I only care about the numbers of Bitcoin I'm acquiring." Now they're like, "Oh, I'm scared, dude. Look at me. Look at me. I'm just trying to get more and more Bitcoin because, indeed, I value my wealth in Bitcoin." As I told everyone at the beginning of the year, I set a goal for how many Bitcoin I want by the end of the year. I still have that same goal. And baby, it's becoming easier to get it because of all the weak handers out there. And because hopefully we get our B private soon. The B rhodium thing comes to a conclusion. And who knows what other, Steam it. People keep upvoting me on there. So lots of opportunity here. And again, someone wanted me to define this, Adam. This is a great time to talk about 80%ers and 20%ers and give a definition. Okay, I mean, in every aspect of life, 20% of the people produce about 80% of the wealth, 80% of the results. And what you end up with is like 20% of the people have 80% of the wealth. And you have all these 80%ers, impulsive people who complain about the 20%, who are jealous of the 20%, who very much could be part of the 20% if they just had long-term thinking, if they just were not impulsive, if they had delayed gratification. It's really that simple in life, people, okay? I mean, it's really that simple. So we have a tweet here by Armin von Bitcoin that says, "The majority see a crash. The few see an opportunity." And that sums it all up. Again, the 80% are impulsive, are reactionary. They see a crash. Well, the 20%, it's an opportunity. It's a great opportunity to get more Bitcoin. I don't know, man. It's to me, it's really simple. And again, there are ups and downs in life. We've been through this before. It's whatever. Here's another tweet that just puts this in perspective. Angelo BTC says, "The market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Always has been, always will be." Again, you could say it another way. The market is a device for transferring money from the 80% to the 20%, from the impatient to the patient. So be patient, people. If you can't be patient, and it's so obvious when you're not patient because you say these things like, "Oh, how could you hold on to Bitcoin?" I mean, the most ridiculous short-term thinking statements in the world. So, and another thing to understand here is that, I'm critiquing what the 80% say, but because they are the 80%, because they make up the majority, most people are going to say, "Adam, what you're saying is wrong." Because that's the beauty of it. The people out there who continue to make the most mistakes, they outnumber the people who don't make the mistakes. And they're going to continue to describe things from their mistake-prone point of view. So what you're going to hear most of out there is from 80%ers. So ignore their noise. So you do not become one of them, because you do not want to become one of these people who are just sit there and talk. They talk a big game. They talk about what they could have done. They talk up their shouldas, they wouldas, they couldas, and all this and give the wrong advice. You don't want to be one of those people. You want to be one of the people who's got a plan, who has a long-term thinking mentality, and who wins in the end, who continues to win, who continues to get more and more Bitcoin. And it is that simple. Life really is that simple. Okay. And let's see. The Dow Jones that crashed today, apparently. the stock market crash back in the United States. Again, I'm in Taipei, Taiwan, totally different time schedule than you guys, 13 hours ahead of New York and Baltimore, and I guess Philadelphia. They've been in the news lately. But no, the Dow, it's very interesting. It keeps following Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a great indicator of what's about to happen in the Dow. Cryptocurrency goes down dramatically in terms of fiat, so does the Dow. And it's been, people have been tweeting this out. I don't link to a tweet below about that, but it's just, I mean, if you are a stock market person and you're wondering what's about to happen, cryptocurrency has been telling you what's about to happen. A few days later, that's what happens to the stock market in the United States. It's very interesting. Now, speaking, and pound that like button, people. 100 live viewers here in the middle of the night back in Boston and Philadelphia and DC and Baltimore. Shout out. Oh, here's someone does a super chat. Who is this? Marcelo DeMello again sends me €2. Thanks a lot, dude. Bitcoin and blockchain are the tech to stay forever. Yeah, dude, the world has changed. Bitcoin has changed. It's not all of a sudden going to be like, oh, Bitcoin was a fad. That's what the 80%ers are saying. I mean, whatever. You can join them, and it's already changed. It isn't going back. They're saying it's going back. It's not going back, dudes. We're there. And value your wealth in Bitcoin. Seriously, just don't say that. Understand what that really means. That you want more Bitcoin. You don't give a darn about what it's worth in fiat, okay? You want to get more fiat, more Bitcoin. The fiat going down in terms of fiat is a distraction that 80%ers get distracted in, and then they panic and they sell their Bitcoin. So in the end of the day, they have less Bitcoin than they had before, and that's a losing strategy. To give up your Bitcoin now, it's just a losing strategy. All right. Whoa, I lost my place there. So the New York Times has a FUD article, and and of course it's so predictable. They're talking about scams, and it's scary, and just they're jumping on that bandwagon, and it's a great sign because now more than ever you're as contrarian as you can be if you're acquiring Bitcoin while they are fudding out Bitcoin. You're talking great about Bitcoin while the masses, the New York Times, the mainstream media are talking bad about Bitcoin. It's a great time to be a contrarian. It really is. So yeah, New York Times got their article out there. People will be talking about it, and people asking me what I think about it. That's what I think about it. It's nonsense. It's noise. It's to scare you out of your Bitcoin. And I linked to that. If you want to see the article, read the darn article. I linked to it below. What else do we have here? Another Coin Reserve says, if you currently value your wealth in Bitcoin, you have the same amount at 7,000 as you did at 19,000. Elevate your thinking. Fear of missing out is a result of viewing things through the wrong lens. And in fact, you probably have more Bitcoin than you did when it was worth more because of the crypto dividends. Maybe you've converted some of your crypto dividends into Bitcoin. We want these crypto dividends coming out fast and furious. We want them to be worth as much as possible. And I wanted to remind everyone, there's a hearing in Washington, D.C., the Congress, the Senate, whoever. I don't give a darn. They're going to be talking about cryptocurrency tomorrow on Tuesday. So be prepared for massive FUD. Massive, and people panicking. Oh, the sociopaths in the government don't understand Bitcoin, and they're saying that we need to regulate it, or whatever they're going to say. Whatever. And maybe they're going to say they don't need to regulate it. I don't care. They can't do a thing about it, and you shouldn't care either. So if it goes down to $3,000 tomorrow, then buy a lot of it, okay? If people panic because of what the United States Senate says, and the people, Maxine Waters, I mean, is that a brainiac there that you're going to care about what she says about Bitcoin, what she and her buddies think about Bitcoin? I mean, come on. what Elijah Cummings says about Bitcoin? Do you care? I mean, is that going to affect what the future of Bitcoin? Elijah Cummings, and Elijah Cummings is a moron from Baltimore. He's a moron from Baltimore, so I'm very familiar with this guy who, and so if you care what Elijah Cummings says, then you shouldn't own any Bitcoin. If you really care what people like sociopathic, power hungry senators and congressmen like Elijah Cummings say, if you really care what they say, you shouldn't have Bitcoin. You're an 80%er. Go live off of welfare, like most of the constituents in where Elijah Cummings claims to live. They are on welfare. He doesn't really live in West Baltimore, by the way. On what street does he claim he lives on? On Madison Avenue. I mean, I've been by his house plenty of times. It's an empty freaking house on Madison. I believe it's Madison. But we all know, but they still keep voting for him over and over again. Oh, Elijah brings us so much free stuff from the government. Again, live off of your free stuff. I've been talking about Bitcoin for quite some time. If you had some Bitcoin, you wouldn't be a free stuff leech anymore. But whatever, that's who puts these people into power, and care about what they say, and you're going to end up broke. Okay, pound that like button. So what do you have here? Vinny Lingham's got a good tweet out there. It sounds like the old school Vinny Lingham. As impressive as the Bitcoin bubble, and he quote unquote bubble was, after the ensuing recovery, which could take many months, the next Bitcoin run that breaks past $20,000 will be majestic. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But it takes patience, Vinny. It could take many months. But again, we've already seen it at $20,000. It shall return. And we're just going to have to be patient. And yeah, it'll be majestic. Of course it'll be majestic. It's always majestic when you can just sit back there and laugh and say, I've been acquiring Bitcoin this whole time, and now in terms of fiat, it's worth more. And now I can just get a Tesla with a fraction of a Bitcoin, or whatever it's going to end up being. Okay. Because again, I talk about this 2020 halving over and over and over again. I'm not selling at the 2020 halving for fee. Heck no. By then, we're going to be able to, use your Bitcoin to buy your Tesla, or who knows what it's going to be. But again, people need long-term goals, and they need to understand some of the basics of Bitcoin. That 2020 halving, it's less than, it's about 2 years away now. It isn't as long-term as when I started talking about it. But it's still a basic, very important aspect of Bitcoin. If you lived through the 2016 halving, like I did, I guess like most of you haven't, you'll understand the freaking importance in terms of price, and in terms of just being an important basic aspect of Bitcoin you have to understand. All right. And again, it's a deflationary aspect. If you're into these centralized inflationary things, then you probably shouldn't be here. Okay, Miss Bitcoin is not centralized, and it's got rules, and it's got basics that don't change no matter who's fudding, no matter what congressional group is worried about it, trying to bail people out. It is what it is. It's not changing. All right, Coinbase has a tweet out there, and I know some of you care so much about Coinbase. You really shouldn't. But here you go. Our engineering team has begun the final testing phase of SegWit for Bitcoin on Coinbase. SegWit-compatible Bitcoin sends/receives will be available for customers in the next few weeks. Hey, there you go. They did SegWit finally, or they're about to. Great. Great. Y'all should have SegWit addresses now anyway. Coinbase, do what you're going to do. You're a centralized third party. Yeah. All right. There are a lot of you that want an answer here. Or, you're feeling, for some reason, you feel like helpless, I guess. You feel helpless about Bitcoin going down in terms of fiat or whatever helpless excuse you come up with. And I am going to make a separate video about why Be Private is going to help some of you feel better, okay? Again, because be private is a way for you to get more Bitcoin. When this crypto dividend comes out on February 28th is going to be a big day, but we just can't sit there. We're going to have to be proactive when it comes to be private. Content creators are going to have to be proactive. People on Twitter, whoever. I'm going to make a video about how to be proactive in terms of be private, how to get more Bitcoin in terms of be private. And it's just a way to, again, to reassure you to value your wealth in Bitcoin, because this is going to be, but we need be private to be as successful as it possibly can be, because we're getting it for free if we are a Bitcoin holder. So, and it's going to help, again, people's desire for free be private will help the fiat price of Bitcoin, okay? It will. I'm going to make another video about that. We don't have time for that now. And it's going to be an outside video. And someone Seabass just sent $2 in the super chat. Thank you. Keep up the great content and hold. Thank you, Seabass. I'm glad you like this original content. You don't get this kind of thing anywhere else. Actually, I mean, I'm part of the World Crypto Network, and in the middle of last night here, Vortex sends me a tweet. He wants me to be on their reassurance show that they had last night, or it was last night here. I was dead asleep, obviously. So you would have gotten it on their channel too, that same type of vibe. You do get that same type of vibe as you get from me there. I love them. I love Vortex. He's great. Okay? Vortex is freaking awesome. Pound that like button if you like Vortex and you like his shows. And yeah, I'll be appearing there soon enough. And again, listen to the shows. These shows are best listened to, not watched, because you can just focus on the content, just learning. You don't get distracted by the hair or whatever. There are all these people that have to comment on the hair. It's hilarious. They're part of the hair club for 80%ers. If you feel the need to comment on the hair, you're an 80%er, basically. You're getting distracted. You can't focus. And maybe you need to watch the World Crypto Network podcasts that obviously this is up on there. Tone Vases, Jimmy's, all their stuff is on the World Crypto Podcast page. It's linked to below. All right. So, yeah, I think I got to do an outside video with my other camera, and maybe I'll post it the day between going to, because I'm in Taipei, but I'm going to Darwin, Australia on the 11th here. I'll land on the 12th. So maybe the video will come out around then, but there will be a video. There will be action items. We have to be proactive with this. I mean, we don't have to, but hey, it's going to help be private. And again, it's a way of, it's a way of increasing our wealth in Bitcoin. All right. B Diamond is another crypto dividend that's already out there. People ask me how to get their B Diamond. Be freaking careful, people. I noticed that B Diamond, the pump, it started to pump again for some unknown reason. I don't know why, but because it's pumping, it's going to make people tempted to do something foolish, like give up their private key. There are going to be more scams. And be careful with your B dot. Be patient. I still have not claimed my B Diamond yet, okay? So I'm just putting it in perspective. You have to be patient. There's not an easy enough, safe enough solution out there yet. I see someone says Adam. They say Adam in the chat. I can't see your question. I can't answer your questions. At least you do the super chat. But I do see Vortex is in there. I know what you mean. I don't know what he's talking to someone in there. He's probably talking to some 80%er. Plenty of them up there. Oh, look at that. Richie Rich is in the house. Sup, holders. So, yeah, I can see it out of the corner of my eye. But I can't. I got to focus on my show. So when you do the super chat, yeah, I'll answer your questions. So what else do we have here? Be careful with the B Diamond. Oh, there's a comic of the day I linked to below by Bitcoin Comics. It's hilarious. It's making fun of the 80%ers. So value your wealth in Bitcoin lesson here. Should you dump your altcoins now? And actually, they've lost a lot of value in terms of Bitcoin. So this is not a time to dump your altcoins. I believe, because just the cryptocurrency outside of Bitcoin, the crash in terms of fiat has been a lot worse. So in turn, they have lost Bitcoin value. And again, we got to value our wealth in Bitcoin. So I think when things calm down again, because obviously things are not very calm in the cryptocurrency market, I think the altcoins will gain some value back in terms of Bitcoin. That's when you sell them. And hey, you know what? Shemitah Fest is coming up in Mexico soon, where they pump Bcash. That's coming up in the middle of February. So Bcash is probably going to go back up to 0.2 Bitcoin. So if you got some Bcash, that'll be a great time to sell your Bcash. And I've said that before. So this is not the best time to sell your Bcash probably, because I think it's going to go back up in value again. Again, you got to value your wealth in Bitcoin, and there will be, again, I've said it a million times. I'll say it a million more times. Bcash will be pumped again. It is a centralized version of Bitcoin. And they've got a lot of fans among the people that go to the Shemitah Fest. And I'm going to have anyway, and I want to just remind everyone, don't be distracted by the anxiety of others. Someone had said that before. The Petro, there are all these Petro Twitters popping up now. The Venezuela Petro, which is going to be a cryptocurrency they make in Venezuela, the government, apparently. There's Twitters, there's a blog. I linked to it below. Now, I just want to say I am not a fan of the government of Venezuela, but the thing is, if this is successful, if it could free the people of Venezuela, okay, by accident. I don't think the government is making this Petro to help to give up power. I'm not here to pump up that government. As you've heard, I don't like the sociopaths in the United States government. I don't like power-hungry people. But this Petro thing, I mean, it might help people. So me talking about it, I'm not here to help the Venezuelan government. I am here to help the Venezuelan people. And I think this could help them. And I'm pointing, so the Spanish language cryptocurrency ecosystem, all of these links that I link to are in Spanish. So I do not fully understand what they're saying. I haven't taken the time to try to translate it or try to understand it. I can understand some Spanish, but check it out. And if we can get our holds, and again, February 20th is the day of the Petro. Maybe it'll help pump up Bitcoin too. I don't know. It is very interesting, and it's clear that a lot of people in the Spanish language ecosystem are talking about it. Okay, and we had check out This Week in Bitcoin. Gabriel was on and talking about it. And there's all sorts of rumors about it. If it's going to be based off of Decred, and is it an ERC20 token? I don't know yet. I don't know. We're going to see. Waiting around gleefully for a societal collapse. Those are doom porn people. Don't be one of them. Don't be waiting around. A lot of them are speaking up lately because they are no coiners. The people waiting around gleefully for a societal collapse. They're probably happy that the Dow crashed too. It's not crashing. I mean, the collapsing. Society isn't collapsing. And if you're the person who gets joy from dreaming about society collapsing, you've got some issues, man. You're a serious doom porner, dude. And you're just like a do-nothing, wanting the worst for everything. Do something. Cure yourself. Get into Bitcoin. Strong hand. All right. I'm going to make a separate video about this subject also. Now if people owe you fiat, and I've talked about this before. If people owe you fiat, now is a great time to collect it, okay? And just say, dudes, I will take half. I will take a quarter. I will take 10%, and immediately use that to buy Bitcoin, all right? Immediately, or if they can give you, because first of all, they have the money they owe you. They're just never going to pay you back, okay? That's just the way of the 80%ers that just are like that. That they're like, oh, I need some money. Lend me some money. I'll pay you back. And then they never pay you back, okay? And as time goes on, the likelihood that they're going to pay you any of it back increases, okay? It increases that they won't pay any of it back, okay? I'm confused. You get the point, all right? The more time that goes by, the less likely they're going to pay you back. So now is a time when your fiat is going to get you more Bitcoin to get some fiat from these freaking good for nothing people who owe you stuff. All right. And they're plenty. When you're dealing in certain businesses, you're going to deal with more often where people owe you money. Now's the time to collect on them, make a deal, make it seem like a deal, and turn it into Bitcoin. I'm going to have a separate video about that eventually also, because that is a very interesting thing. So again, if people owe you, get something in fiat for it now and buy Bitcoin with that something. And in the long run, you'll be, when Bitcoin goes up in value in terms of fiat, you'll be like, oh, I got it all back. All right, finally, remember, pound that like button, subscribe to this channel, check out the notes section below. And I want to talk about a guy who really supports me well on Twitter, on Steam, on everything. Kadir in India. He is, and I'm promoting him because he has been a great supporter of mine for a while. He's going like totally Bitcoin India centric now. He's got a Facebook page, a Twitter page, a Steam page, a website that deal with Bitcoin in India. He can help you. A YouTube page. I link to this stuff below. I link to all his stuff below, because maybe there are some of you in India that want to join out with him. Maybe there's just some of you outside that just want to check him out and help him out because he's a big Bitcoin fan, a big holder. He believes in buy and hold, and he's just a guy who supports the channel and deserves a shout out. So Kadir, there you go. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Do check out the notes section below. 200 live viewers. Pound that like button. I'll see you later. Bye. Bye-bye.